In 2021, Claire is on her way to Venus Town. Since it's getting late, she decides to stop at a motel for the night. There's nobody at the front desk, so Claire rings the bell, which has a sticker with 3 smiling faces next to it. Eventually Shelley shows up to assign her a room. Claire asks for directions to Venus Town and Shelley tells her the quickest way, revealing she grew up there. Later, while Claire is resting, someone knocks on her door. A mysterious voice asks, "Is Pamela here?" So Claire tells her she has the wrong room. After a few seconds, the same person knocks on the door again and repeats the question. A confused Claire looks through the peephole but sees nothing, so she opens the door to check the hallway. There's nobody there either, so she goes back inside. While Claire is in the bathroom, the door is unlocked from the outside. Suddenly she turns around and screams when she sees Pin-Up Girl. Moments later, Claire wakes up tied to a chair in a dark, nasty room, and she can't see well because she doesn't have her glasses. However, Dollface appears in front of her and puts her glasses back on. As Dollface touches Claire's hair and looks at her closely, Claire cries and wonders why she was chosen. Dollface simply says, "Because you were here," before stabbing her. Claire squirms for a few seconds before she dies. At the back of the room, Scarecrow and Pin-Up Girl celebrate another kill with a kiss. In the present, Maya has been escaping from the 3 killers and has managed to kill Pin-Up Girl, who turned out to be Shelley. She hides behind a tree and watches a furious Scarecrow repeatedly hit something with his axe before picking up Shelley. After the killers leave in a truck, Maya starts wandering through the forest alone. Moments later, Maya sees a police car on the road, so she immediately hides. Sheriff Rotter drives by and thankfully doesn't see her. After the car leaves, Maya keeps walking until she finds an old church. When she goes inside, she looks around and touches the piano, only to be interrupted by Gregory. He's surprised to see she's still alive and Maya looks for a way to escape, but he's blocking the only way out. Gregory fills 2 glasses with alcohol while telling Maya to relax because there are no masks here, confirming he's Scarecrow. He dedicates his drink to Shelley and tells Maya to do the same for her boyfriend, who was killed by the murdering trio earlier. Maya says she didn't mean to kill Shelley, but Gregory doesn't believe her and kicks her out, so Maya runs as fast as possible. Meanwhile, Rotter gets an urgent call from the station and learns that Maya has disappeared. He orders his men to look for her at the lake house where she had been staying with her boyfriend. At that moment, Maya comes out of the forest and freezes when she sees the car. Rotter brings her in and hears her story about confronting the killers. She explains she knows where they're hiding, but she'll only tell him if he takes her to her sister. When Maya asks for a phone, Rotter pretends he has no signal here. Then she asks for a first aid kit, so Rotter leaves the car to get it from the trunk. Maya takes the chance to take over the wheel and escapes. As she drives down the road, Maya hears on the police radio that the cops have found more bodies. She also learns that they're looking for her, so she realizes that Rotter helps the killers cover their crimes. Maya looks around the car for anything useful, so she doesn't see the incoming truck until it's too late. She manages to dodge it but ends up crashing into a tree instead. At that moment, Scarecrow shows up and drags Maya out of the car. She tries to fight back but she isn't strong enough. Scarecrow throws her on the back of the truck and ties her up before the vehicle takes off. When Maya looks around, she finds Shelley's body next to her. On her wrist, there's a smiley face tattoo. A flashback then reveals that Gregory is Rotter's son. After Gregory murders a classmate named Tamara, the judge wants to send him to jail. However, the law says that young people should go to rehabilitation and the sheriff has an impeccable record, so the judge announces that Rotter will retain custody of his son. If Gregory commits one more crime, the judge will send him to jail until he turns 18. A few weeks later, Gregory kills a man with an axe in the forest while Shelley watches from behind a tree. Then she helps him cover the body with leaves. In the evening, Rotter finds the body and realizes that his son truly has a problem, but he doesn't want to lose him. Instead, he offers him a deal. Rotter will cover up all his murders, but Gregory mustn't kill anyone from their town, only tourists. In the present, Scarecrow and Dollface take Maya and Shelley to their hideout. Scarecrow says his final goodbye to Shelley before turning on the wood chipper, which grinds the body. Maya is disgusted by the sight of blood coming out of the machine and ends up crying. Then Scarecrow hits Maya with the handle of his axe to knock her out. In the morning, Rotter is having breakfast at the local diner when suddenly Maya's sister Debbie arrives with her husband Howard and their bodyguard Marcus. Howard shows everyone a picture of Maya and tells them that her boyfriend was murdered in this town a few days ago, so the family wants to find her before the same happens to her. Everyone stays silent, so Debbie has to beg for any kind of information. A waitress tells her she met Maya when she ate there a few days ago, but everyone judges her for getting involved, so she doesn't say anything else. Later, while the waitress is on her break alone, Debbie approaches her to convince her to say more. The woman explains that people have been murdered in this town for years, but usually it doesn't happen to the locals. She tells Debbie that Rotter knows everything that happens around here, so he'll have the necessary information. Meanwhile, Maya wakes up in pain and discovers that Scarecrow is tattooing the smiley face on her own skin. The mix of shock and pain knocks her out again. On the road outside the forest, Debbie's group is following Rotter, who soon makes it to the morgue. Deputy Tommy shows him the 3 bodies he found at the lake house and confirms they're all locals. Tommy knows that Gregory did it because he's always helped Rotter, But the no locals rule has been broken, so he wants to call the state police. Suddenly Rotter grabs a medical drill and stabs Tommy's head to kill him. Afterward Rotter puts Tommy's body in a bag and drags it to his car while Debbie's group still watches him. Sometime later, Maya wakes up and is startled by Scarecrow, who retrieves Pin-Up Girl's mask from a desk. Then he grabs Maya, who tries to fight back to no avail. Scarecrow forces her to wear the mask and gently caresses her hair before kissing her. Maya kicks him and takes off the mask, so Scarecrow leaves the room and locks the door. In the evening, Scarecrow and Dollface drag Maya to the truck and force her to wear the mask again, clearly wanting her to become the new Pin-Up Girl. Another flashback shows that 12 years ago, Shelly and Gregory as teenagers looking for their next victims at a gas station. Shelly is hungry, so she enters the store to get some snacks. A guy soon approaches her and starts hitting on her, only to be interrupted by his furious girlfriend. While the couple argues, Shelly goes back to Gregory and tells him what happened. The couple comes out too and they're still arguing, so Gregory says he likes them. At the motel, Gregory and Shelly pull out their knives and knock on the couple's room as they ask about Tamara. Since nobody answers, they decide to break in, only to discover that the girl has already killed her boyfriend. Shelly and Gregory share a look before Shelly offers some snacks to invite the girl to join their murder group. In the present, the truck stops near the gas station and the trio watches various people come and go. When Dollface and Scarecrow finally see a couple they like, they follow them to the motel. Dollface tells Maya to knock 3 times, so Maya does that before Dollface asks about Tamara. The couple tells them they have the wrong room, so they repeat the process. When the couple says no again, Scarecrow breaks down the door and throws the woman against the wall before hitting the guy, knocking them both out. Minutes later the couple has been tied up and the woman cries as she begs for mercy. Scarecrow looks closely at them before bringing Maya forward. He removes her ropes and tells her to kill one of the tourists. Maya refuses and steps back, so Scarecrow pushes her away before killing the man while the girlfriend watches. The guy dies pretty quickly, but Scarecrow keeps hitting the body over and over. Then Maya takes the chance to take Dollface's blade and stabs her with it. When Dollface collapses, Maya repeatedly pounds her head on the ground to kill her. This leaves her in shock. Scarecrow admires Maya's job before moving her toward the crying woman, asking her to kill her too. Since Maya still refuses to hurt an innocent civilian, Scarecrow guides her hand and forces her to stab their hostage. He then raises the victim's chin so he can look her in the eye as she slowly dies. Scarecrow asks Maya if it felt good as he pulls out the blade, and the sight of blood makes her step back again. Afterward the duo leaves in the truck. At that moment Rotter calls Gregory to tell him that Maya's family has been following him, so he'll lead them to the sawmill. He drives around until he finds a good spot to hide the car and turns off the lights. Soon Debbie's car also shows up, but they can't see the police vehicle, so she assumes Rotter sped up and tells Marcus to keep going. Eventually the group finds a trailer and Marcus immediately becomes suspicious because Rotter's car isn't there. He gives Howard a gun before they go out to investigate. Marcus enters the trailer and makes sure it's safe before telling the couple to come in. He wants them to lock the door and stay in the trailer while he goes looking for Rotter. Minutes later Marcus finds the abandoned sawmill and notices an empty bag with blood on the ground. When he looks inside, he's surprised to see a machine still working and lots of blood on its blades. A closer look reveals the remains of a body. Suddenly Rotter appears at the door and points his gun at Marcus, forcing him to drop his weapon. Once Marcus is unarmed, Rotter kills him with 2 shots and closes the sawmill. Meanwhile Scarecrow parks the truck near the trailer and ties Maya up before coming out. Nearby, Rotter watches it all. Scarecrow starts walking around the trailer, pounding on the doors and scratching the walls with his axe. Suddenly he breaks a window and the couple falls in fear. He continues to break every window and Howard shoots many bullets to no avail. Then Scarecrow gets back on the truck and drives pretty quickly until he hits the trailer, which falls on its side. The glass shards severely damage Howard's face and Debbie tells him they need to run, but at that moment Scarecrow enters the trailer. Howard tries to shoot him but he's out of ammo, so Scarecrow proceeds to kill him with the axe. Minutes later Maya is shocked to see Scarecrow come out of the trailer with Debbie. He looks Maya in the eye as he stabs her sister, but Maya's only reaction is to tremble and cry. Afterward Scarecrow retrieves Dollface's body and cuts the ropes on Maya's wrists. He leaves the knife for her before leaving as he drags the body on the ground. After Rotter also leaves, Maya finally snaps out of it and brings Debbie's body into the truck before taking off, determined to go home. However, she stops in the middle of the road and decides to go back for revenge instead. By recognizing the road signs, Maya finds the hideout hatch on the ground and goes down while carrying a gun she found in the truck. The hideout is pretty big and Maya sees many creepy things like chains as she tries to find the right corridor. Eventually she discovers a chair under a bright light and hears a noise. She keeps moving to take a closer look and sees Rotter drinking while listening to the radio. He immediately notices her too, but before he can react, Maya easily kills him with 2 shots. Then she checks the chair and finds a rope, realizing this is where they kept her captive earlier. Afterward Maya goes down a corridor in the back and finds Gregory's personal room. There are crazy words scratched on the walls and dozens of candles displayed with Shelley's photographs, her personal possessions, and some creepy drawings. At that moment Scarecrow enters the room and sits down while pointing out that there's only pain in Maya now. However, she corrects him, saying there's nothing in her. After he claims that he freed her, Maya makes him take off his mask. Gregory does so before commenting on the fact that Maya is the only victim of his that has ever survived. He also says that Shelley was the only light in his darkness. Maya announces she came here to kill him but realizes that he's the only thing she has left, since her family and boyfriend are dead. She also drops the gun because it's empty. Gregory comes closer to sniff her and soon they're comforting each other in their loneliness. When he's distracted, Maya stabs him and watches him collapse on the ground. Gregory says they're the same now before she kills him with the axe. In the morning, Maya leaves the hideout with Gregory's mask. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.